Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on HD Pocket. Today, a brand new Pokemon TCG Pocket set has been announced. Eevee Grove is coming to the game on the 26th of June. We're going to break down all of the cards showcased so far in the trailer. Let's get into it. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the trailer first, and then we have all of the cards kind of showcased so far, and then there's a couple other things to go over as well about this upcoming Pokemon TCG Pocket set. But as I said, it does release on the 26th of June, which we kind of knew about because of the data mines and stuff. We just didn't know what sort of set it was going to be. I had an idea that it was going to be like another Shining Revelry set, where it's just a pack about loads of shiny Pokemon, which is a bit of... I didn't really want that because it just kind of kills the Wonder Picks, because obviously shiny Pokemon can't pop up in the Wonder Picks. But no, it's actually all about Eevee and the evolutions, which I'm a massive fan of because obviously I absolutely love the eeveelutions. Also love the pack art for this as well. It just looks so vibrant and colorful. It's got all the eeveelutions on it. Looks really, really nice. It is, of course, just one pack as well. It's not like a double kind of main sort of pack. We do have Eevee EX as well, which is going to be a very interesting card. We do have the high quality images of all the cards on the Cerebi website, so we're going to break that down momentarily. We're just going to quickly go over the trailer now. But yeah, we have the Eevee EX card, which only has one move, which is Bite, but again, we'll talk about that momentarily. And then we have all the eeveelutions, so we have Sylveon EX and Flareon EX here. Then we have Vaporeon, Leafeon, Jolteon, Glaceon, Espeon, and Umbreon. So that's those cards. And then we have a better look at the Vaporeon and Jolteon card. We have Flareon EX here. And then also we have Espeon, Umbreon. It's just kind of going through all the eeveelutions right now. It's a shame that they all can't get EXs, but it'd be a little bit broken. But then we have the full art Sylveon EX card there as well. Like I said, I'm going to break them all down momentarily. We have Penny and Eevee Bag from, of course, Generation 9. And then we have some Swirlix, Alcremie, Milcery cards. So a bunch of, well, they're fairy types, but obviously psychic types in this. And then, yeah, I think that's just the rest of the cards. So yeah, that's basically all the cards that have been showcased so far. That's the trailer. Very, very nice trailer. Obviously, next Thursday is when the game drops, or when the pack drops, should I say, on the 26th of June. So let's take a look at the cards in more detail. So, starting things off, let's take a look at Eevee EX. It is a 90 HP colorless energy card, and it has the ability eeveevolve. So this Pokemon can evolve into any Pokemon that evolves from Eevee if you play it from your hand onto this Pokemon. So this Pokemon can't evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it, and then it has the move Bite for 1 colorless energy, which does 30 damage, which is decent, and it only has a 1 retreat cost as well. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously trying to promote kind of different eeveelution decks because you can obviously just evolve it straight from your hand onto this Pokemon, but obviously it can't evolve during the first turn or the turn that you play it. So that's Eevee EX. I'm struggling to see if that's going to be very good. I don't know, maybe we see some shenanigans and stuff once we see all the other cards that drop. Like, maybe we still get Umbreon EX and Espeon EX and stuff like that. I don't really know. We then have Vaporeon, so we've got another variation of Vaporeon here with 120 HP. It has a Water Energy and 2 colorless for Hyper Whirlpool, does 70 damage. Flip a coin until you get tails. For each heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So a little bit like a Team Rocket sort of supporter card there, and then has a retreat cost of 2. We then have Jolteon, which has 90 HP, and it hits for 40 plus damage for 1 electric energy. It's called Beginning Bolt. This Pokemon evolved during this turn. This attack does 20 more damage. So obviously if you're running a Jolteon, then you're doing 60 damage from that first hit, but then it just goes back to 40 anyway, so nothing crazy there. 1 retreat cost on the Jolteon. Next up we have Flareon EX for 150 HP. It has the ability Combust. So once during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. If you do 20 damage to this Pokemon. So again, it's from your discard pile, not from your energy zone. And then it has the move Fire Spin for 130 damage. Discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. I feel like it's not that good. There's much better fire type Pokemon out there than the Flareon. And again, having to discard 2 fire energy, and then if you want another fire energy from your discard pile, you're going to have to take an extra 20 damage. With only 150 HP, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be that viable. We then have Espeon as well for 100 HP. It has the move Energy Crush, which will cost you 1 psychic energy, and it does 20 times. So this attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So that could be quite sneaky. So if they've got like even Pokemon, I assume, on their bench, this is still going to be giving this extra damage, so that could be kind of useful there. might get a little bit of play. We then have Umbreon as well with 100 HP, and it has the move Dark Binding for 40 damage, going to cost you 1 Dark type energy. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So that could be kind of interesting, depending on, you know, those evolution decks, which of course are getting a lot more play now because of Silvally, stuff like that. And that has a retreat cost of 2. We then have Leafeon here as well, which has 90 HP, and then for a colorless energy, you can use the move Leaf Blast for 10 plus. So this attack does 20 more damage for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. So you could run it in a colorless deck, but obviously it's not going to be very good because you need that grass energy. Has 1 retreat cost. We then have the illustration sort of rare of that Leafeon card as well, which looks very, very nice. We then have Glaceon, which has 100 HP, and then for 2 water energy, you can use the move Ice Blade. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so could obviously snipe things on the bench, not too bad. 2 retreat cost. We then have Sylveon EX, which has 140 HP, and it has the ability Happy Ribbon. So once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand, to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may draw 2 cards. That's kind of cracked, because it's another sort of Professor Research for free. So you could literally draw 4 cards in one turn. If you pop the Sylveon, grab the 2 cards from that, and then obviously just play Professor's Research, then you're absolutely loving life because you just get 4 cards for free. And then you can also do the move Fairy Wind for a Psychic and a colorless energy, does 70 damage, and it only has a 1 retreat cost as well. I feel like this is going to get the most play, especially because Psychic decks kind of do have a lot going for them as well. You can always run like a Mewtwo or a Gardevoir or something like that in any Psychic deck. So I think that Sylveon probably going to get a lot more play than any of the other eeveelutions. Then I have a couple of other cards as well. We've got Swirlix with 60 HP and 1 retreat cost. Sweets Relay for 10 plus damage. If one of your Pokemon use Sweets Relay during your last turn, this attack does 20 more damage. We then have Milcery as well, so yeah, Sweets Relay as well. If one of your opponent, yeah, basically the exact same thing. So it's just a different card, but obviously it kind of benefits each other. We then have Alcremie, which has 80 HP. It has the move Sweets Overload. So this attack does 40 damage for each time your Pokemon uses Sweet Relay during this game. So if you're popping these like kind of early on, then you can be like, you use it 3 times. I know it's very unlikely, but then you're doing 120 damage for 1 colorless energy. So it's not bad. You can run 2 Alcremie in your deck. Could see some play. I don't see why not. We then have the trainer support card Penny. So look at a random supporter card that's not Penny from your opponent's deck and shuffle it back into their deck. Use the effect of that card as the effect of this card. So that could be very nice. So technically, could you? No, you wouldn't be able to use. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to use this and then Professor's Research obviously twice because they're both support cards. But you could, you know, get the 2 cards from Sylvan, and then you could pop this, and then, you know, if you don't have Professor's Research in your hand, then you can obviously use their Professor's Research, because you're always going to have Professor Research in the other deck because it's just such a viable card. You get 2 free cards for nothing. So you're always going to have Professor Research in decks and stuff like that. And then as well as that, we have Eevee Bag. So choose one. So we actually have an option for this item card. So during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon that evolve from Eevee do plus 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, or heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon that evolves from Eevee. So yeah, could be used with obviously Sylveon. Majority of the time it's going to be used with Sylveon. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to be crazy competitive. I think the Penny card is going to be quite nice, but again, I don't know if it's going to see like a whole lot of play. We might be able to see some fun decks with like the Alcremie and stuff doing a ton of damage, but again, I think it's just a little bit too slow to set it up to really see it being super viable in the competitive scene. And then as well as that, we have this update from Cerebi saying, Cerebi update, a look at new display board and binder covers coming to the Pokemon TCG Pocket soon. So obviously got the Eevee sort of display board and binder covers, stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but this is obviously just going to be available in Pokemon TCG Pocket, I assume, on Thursday. And nothing more has been dropped either regarding that. So that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts on this new TCG Pocket set? Do you think it's going to be decent or not? Let me know your thoughts on it. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell, and until next time, peace.